Anyways, I just wanted to make a video really quick to just let people know, like people that are children of God, especially like I don't know, especially the children of God, um, because we live in a world where you know people try to take shots at us and stuff like that for just for no reason. Like you'd be surprised, for you people that don't really follow or don't really have a relationship with God, you'd be surprised. But nonetheless, for my brothers and sisters in Christ, just you know love people but ignore them. And not not everybody's out to get, like not everybody's out to, you know, like to give you problems. I'm not saying that, but a lot of people, like you don't even have to mention God, like, just, the atmosphere just changes because like the thing is I'm gonna be honest, and this might seem uncomfortable or even like out there and crazy to a lot of people who don't know better, but you could even look this up in the Bible. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against forces, dark forces of, you know, like in other words, demons, man. Like I'm not like people should take responsibility for their actions, but because nobody can make you do anything pretty much that you don't want to do. But there are influences in this world and you know so what I'm saying is like people that don't belong to God, they're still in spiritual bondage. So we have to understand that. And nobody's saying to just roll over and let people treat you like garbage. No, I'm not saying that. But kick the ego aside and just understand that these people and you know like you and me and like everybody struggles with something. First of all, nobody's perfect, and that does not give a pass to treat anybody with disrespect or anything. But understand that it goes far beyond that person who's disrespecting you, pretty much. What happens is these things work on people's weaknesses, and like when you switch sides, when you come over to God, the enemy works overtime to really try to frustrate you and to try to throw you off course. Because if it can get you off course, well then really, I mean, if you can get somebody off focus, then I mean you could, you know, basically to try to stifle you. So in other words, hold people accountable for what they do, but don't get angry, don't get bitter, because that's what that person wants first and foremost, and that's what's pretty much going on. So just understand, if you're a child of God, you're free. You're free from that garbage. You really, really are. I mean, obviously, you live in a fallen world, so you're gonna have to go through. You're gonna have to reap the consequences of a fallen world. You're not gonna just obviously, you're not exempt of the fallen world that we live in. It's a fallen world. I mean, come on now. You can't step into a fire and not get burned. I mean, that's you're expecting a little bit too much out of the situation. But if you're a child of God, you're a real child of God, you will go to a better place. So as far as people go, just let them do what they do. You know, um, and what I mean by that is obviously never don't let anybody disrespect you, but don't I know when people get caught up in circumstances, it's so easy to just let all logic kind of just slide off your shoulders, and just it's so easy to just kick into that into that old nature, so to speak. It's so easy to just fall back and just be step out of character. But you know so just understand that you belong to God now. If that's what you truly do, you belong to God, and you just give it to him, and just let him take care of it. He'll take care of that person. He will. And never wish anything bad upon anybody either. That's horrible. Because I've had some horrible things happen to me, I'll tell you that much. Not just by one person or one situation, but so I mean, you're talking to somebody who was situation wise, or in any way, shape, or form. I mean, sure, my life could have been worse, but I guess we could all say that. But I'm far from a person that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, as far as anything. Like if anybody had to work for something, it was myself. Like literally, I had to scrape and claw for everything, and that's just the way it is. You know, so but you know what? I'm here because of God, not because of myself. It wasn't because of my efforts. I'm not talking about religion at all. I'm talking about just a relationship, like you genuinely belong to God. Not religion, but relationship. through the cross of Christ, and just let people, just not let people disrespect you, obviously, but just let God take care of, is what I'm trying to say, because God is a just God, and He's not going to put up with that garbage. Romans, I believe it's Romans chapter 10, like at the end of the chapter, it says, I'm pretty sure it's Romans chapter 10. I know it's Romans chapter 10, but for some reason, if it's not that, then it's chapter 12. But I'm 99 or 97 and 98% certain it's chapter 10. It says, vengeance is the Lord's. So just give it to Him. 70 times 7. I mean, that means just keep going and just keep giving it to Him. It could be a process. So, I mean, you're talking to somebody that, I'm more human than that. I'm not going to just hop up on YouTube and say, pull a rabbit out of a hat, because sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes you just have to, depending on what was done to you and in what fashion it was done to you, it's going to be a process. So again, just keep giving it to God over and over and over, and pray for these people, because and if you wait for a feeling, if you wait for some warm fuzzy feeling to pray for somebody, or some warm fuzzy feeling to forgive somebody, you'd be waiting a lifetime. Don't wait for feelings. Don't act on feelings. Don't do that, because act, because first of all, that's what you're supposed to do, and just pray to God to soften up your heart and to give you the desire to do these things. I mean, if you're in, well, first of all, it's never God's will to really have anyone walk around, angry and all. Like, life is way too short for that junk. First of all, for anyone. Second of all, if you're a child of God, you have the power of God in you, and you have God on your side. Like, I mean, come on, God will, through prayer and all that stuff, and reading and studying and whatnot, He will help you. So just ask Him, and for anybody else who doesn't really belong to God, I mean, God died for you too. So, just read Romans 10:9. The gospel is pretty, plain and simple. Death, burial, and resurrection. When He died, he took the sins of the world in His body. So, and then that's pretty much the finished work of Christ. Well, just go. It's found in 1 Corinthians. I mean, if you're reading this, you got some sort of device or whatever. Just Google it. Work on the gospel. I think it's in 1 Corinthians somewhere. So just it's death, burial, and resurrection. In Romans 10:9 and 10 talks about that too. Romans chapter 10 verse 9 and 10 will tell you about will give you pretty much what that is. Kind of, sort of, but again, the gospel is found in 1 Corinthians, I believe, in somewhere in there. Just Google it. Like, just the gospel of Christ, 1 Corinthians, and then boop, boop, it'll pop right up for you. So there it is. Or you could just, you're on YouTube, you could just YouTube it right now, search it. It's out there. So, anyways, that's all I really have to say. I just, I like to do these videos every once in a while, and this is a new account for me, because I had to get rid of my other one, but this is a new account for me. So, but who cares? I mean, I'm maybe the same people will see it. So, it's just another one of those videos I wanted to put out there, just to keep people focused, I guess. I don't know. To even keep myself focused too, because sometimes I can get caught up in like when somebody, we all can. I mean, come on now, like when somebody treats you with injustice and you didn't deserve it. It's just like, dude, are you serious? So, and there's nothing wrong with feeling like you've been taken, of course. I mean, if somebody's just gonna sit there and throw dirt in your face, or like somebody's gonna walk by you and just smash you in the face with an apple pie and walk away, like, are you serious, man? Like, what did I ever do to you, sort of thing. It's normal to feel like that, but it's what you do with that. That's what matters. Like, you can't, like, a sucker punch is gonna hurt. You can't stop it from giving you a black eye, but are you gonna, how are you gonna handle that? And there's nothing wrong with defending yourself, trust me. A sucker punch is a sucker punch. I mean, obviously, physically, somebody's gonna sucker punch you. You have a right to defend yourself, but you pretty much know what I'm talking about. I mean, a lot of people like to hold on to that pain and just like, let it boil over. Life is too short, man. People die of heart attacks every day. People die of cancer. That stuff is poison. It'll rise you from the inside out. And frankly, the way of this world, it's not worth it for anyone. Not worth it for anyone. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if I told you some of the stuff that I've endured, then, your socks would curl up in a ball and jump off your feet and run away from you and never come back. In other words, it will rot your socks, man. I mean, I'm telling you. And this is stuff that I didn't even deserve. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm innocent. I just went through, my whole life, and I'm just some poor little innocent angelic victim. No, we're all perpetrators and victims at the same time. But the stuff that I went through, the way I've been victimized, dude, I'm telling you, really. I mean, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. So, but you know, things can get better through God. So that's all I'm saying. You're not talking to somebody who just went through. I'm not just sitting here crying over some. My girlfriend broke up with me. Like, I know that could be tough too. I'm not sitting here downplaying that, but I'm talking about stuff that's way more personal than that. Because girlfriends come and go. Out with the old, in with the new. It is what it is. I'm talking about some. No offense, but some real life stuff. Um, what I mean by that is things that hit way closer to home, like it's more personal, way more personal. So, and again, I'm not just talking about one situation. I'm talking about situations is in plural. I'm not just focusing in on one situation. There's more to my life than just one situation or two. There's situations. Um, so you're definitely talking to somebody who knows what it's like to be not just sucker punched, but sucker punched by a baseball bat, not by a fist, but by a baseball bat swung by, I don't know, Babe Ruth in his prime. We're talking about somebody knocking your block off your shoulders. Good luck. Not once, but not twice or whatever. I mean, really, I know what it's like. Trust me. So I just wanted to make this video, and I'm gonna upload it, and it's just a random video. I like to do these videos every once in a while just to get people to focus, and maybe it'll help somebody, maybe it won't. So have a nice afternoon.